Hi everyone, this is meowmurai, and let's continue our game of Spirit Hunter Deathmark 2 running on PlayStation 5. Okay.
助けになるといいけれど。さあ、行ってらっしゃい。さて、誰を連れて行
Do
こ
I
う
have
か。
Satoru and I have Hiru? Did I talk with everybody already? We should share the information we have about Mr. Kokori with the others. Okay. They should be waiting for it. Welcome back, you two. Mind telling us what happened out there? I tell them all the events that had happened up until this point, including the moment when the departed devoured Mr. Kokori and transformed. A sight that I could only see, a sight I wished was merely a hallucination. What the? A spirit transformed after devouring another spirit? I've never heard such a thing before. What a monster. It doesn't make any sense. Don't scare me like that. Three mark bearers all take this news differently. Shocked and confused. Honestly, I feel all their emotions. What if this transformation made them stronger? That explained the red lights from earlier. Does that mean things have taken a turn for the worse? Most likely. I wonder what they're planning next, now that they've gained power and transformed. More terrifying things may be in store ahead. Awful. A heavy silence falls over the infirmary. The departed has grown stronger, and there's nothing we can do about it. Our sense of fear grows alongside the sense of powerlessness that we feel. The phone on the desk is ringing. I should answer it. Hello? It's Manahashi. I've charged Kakata's phone. Have you checked on what's on it? Of course. I'll tell you what it says now, so you better take notes. I prepared to write down the contents of Kakata's phone as Manahashi relays it to me. There's a series of messages from MK. MK had entrusted Kakata to manage the fox Lakana in the forest, but when their secret was about to be exposed, he told Kakata to dispose of them. He threatened to tell the world about Kakata's assault case if Kakata betrayed him. Kakata reluctantly agreed to help. MK didn't send any messages after for 2 weeks, until the day after school, when Kakata got 2 new messages from him. However, the text was too garbled to decipher. No, Kakata's cell phone. MK. I recall the time I saw Kakata in that storage room. He was murmuring something while looking at his phone. I was summoned. I have to go. Or else I'll be killed. MK. It's pretty clear he was acting under MK's direction. That Kakata's a pretty messed up kid for someone who's a disciplinary committee member. Kakata didn't have anything to do with the Lake S incident. However, he got himself mixed up with Fox Lakata because of MK's blackmail. And that's how he met his end. Mr. Kokiri, Kiyohara won't forgive anyone who's addicted to Fox Lakata. Thanks, Marahashi. I was just repaying my debt since I caused you trouble before, alright? I'm hanging up now. Say hi to Miss Yasuoka for me. It was that girl, right? What did she say? I'll tell the others everything Marahashi told me. Hey, MK. You think they're the person named K mentioned in the Lake S murder case? Yeah. I mean, they would have to be the same person, right? In Kiyohara's farewell note, K's full name was Mitsuru Kiromine, which means that the K from the Lake S case has the initials MK. It's a pretty likely fit for him to also be the MK who was messaging Kakura. Kuromine continued to gather Fox Lakata secretly even after the Lake S incident. He exploited Kakura's weakness and had him watch over his crops. What's with the frown, Mashida? I knew it. I knew Mitsuri Kuromine. That jogged my memory. So, is he a criminal you've arrested in the past? No, the opposite. Mitsuru Kuromine is a cop. He's a career bureaucrat in the Metropolitan Police Department. His pops is in the top brass, so he joined the cops because everyone expected he'd just follow in his pop's footsteps. Wait a minute. He wasn't prosecuted, but Kuromine was still a suspect in the Lake S case. And he's still selling Fox Lakata? How's that possible without a fiend like that? Can still be a cop. Cops are just people. There are saints and fiends in every group of people. Doctors, teachers, military, cops. And like I said earlier, his dad's top brass. Sweeping a case like this under the rug would take some effort, but his pops was so high up, he could definitely take care of it. Are you serious? So he escaped punishment for Lake S and he's blackmailing students to do his dirty work even now? What a shameless scumbag. That's exactly the kind of guy Kuromine is. A selfish asshole who'd stoop to anything so long as it gave him the slightest benefit. In addition, Kiyohara's spirit is unable to find peace due to that miscreant. How unforgivable. Is there anything more we can do, Mashida? Nope, it's out of our hands. No matter what evidence we find, we'll never be able to take him to trial. What do you mean by that? Kuromine is already dead. What? I remember reading about it in the newspaper about half a month ago. He died while relaxing at the lake. Accidental death, they say. And that lake he was relaxing at? You guessed it, Lake S. What a coincidence. Or maybe it wasn't a coincidence at all. For an arrogant, entitled man with power like Kuromine, the deceased must have seemed as powerless as the living. To him, spirits were just another made-up construct like morals or dignity that he could disregard. That's why he could kill so easily. But for those like us, we know the grudges of the dead aren't just ghost stories. The deceased are not powerless. That concludes our investigation for the night. Not everything is cleared up. There are some mysteries that remain unsolved. But there's no one left who can resolve those mysteries. Both Kakata and Kuromine are dead. I start getting ready to leave school, though I'm still feeling uneasy for some reason. Welcome back, Yashiki. Did you lock the door? Yeah. Did they force you to work as a janitor, too? You're putting way too much effort into this. Hey, we can't let people loiter inside the school or the number of victims is going to increase. As soon as the words leave my mouth, I feel how empty they are. Hiru and Mashida are the only ones in the infirmary. There's no sign of Yasuoka. Huh, where's Yasuoka? I called a taxi and sent her home. I mean, this is this is usually bedtime for geezers, right? She's way too energetic for her age. You're really rude, you know that? If I hear you're being charged with harassment, I'm totally going to believe you're guilty. I've never harassed anyone in my life. Shall we head home too now? I'll drive you both to the station as thanks. Kokuri's ending has been added to the spirit file. Having lost both his wife and child in a brutal incident, Kinohara investigated things himself and found the true culprit, Kei, aka Kuramine. However, he couldn't get his revenge and was beaten to death by some hooligans. His intense resentment turned him into the spirit named Kokuri. Using Kakura's weakness, Kuramine ordered the boy to manage the fox Lakata in the forest, a source of income for him. But was the MK who had been texting Kakura really Kuramine? Even more unsettlingly, after the departed devoured Kokuri, it transformed. What's going on? Characters Masaki Kirihara and Mitsuri Kuramine have been added to the character file. After checking whether or not the door is locked, we leave the special building, and then we head to the main gate. For now, there's nothing we can really do about the red lights in the school. If it really is a spirit's doing, everything should be back to normal once the sun rises. By the way, Yashiki, give me back my paper bag. You can keep it if you like it so much, though. Yeah, we'll give it back, of course. You can take it. Why would I want such a dangerous thing, anyway? I take the gun from the paper bag and hand it back to Mashida. Lost suspicious paper bag. What in the world are you doing now? I just want to go home already. We're just leaving. My car slowly leaves the school and heads towards M Tower Station. You should be able to catch the last train. Say, Ashiki. Mashina murmurs in the passenger seat, eyes fixed on the scenery outside. I glance at him, indirectly telling him to continue. He must be tired. His complexion looks darker than usual. Kakura went to the Fox Forest this evening. He got an order from MK, Kuramine. Yeah, he did. Don't you find that weird? Huh? Now that he mentions it, something about that doesn't feel right. Well, that guy should be dead by now. The thought gets stuck in my mind. What's wrong with it? The message itself. So you picked up on it too, huh? Of course. Kuramine died half a month ago. It's impossible that he would be the one that sent that message. So there's a chance that MK isn't Kuramine. It's probably the departed. The previous message before Kuramine's death must be from him. But the message he got today was strange, even the fact that the text was garbled. In the first place, how could Kakura even read the message when it was garbled? Everything is just so confusing. Hey! Hiru, who's sitting in the back seat, cuts in. Can you give it a rest already? This case is solved. I feel sorry for Kakura, but what's done is done. But let's be grateful that we managed to survive tonight. Just focus on what you have to do, or else you'll go insane. Hiru. My job is dissecting animals, you see. There are times when I feel depressed after thinking about the value of life and the animals I've had to kill. I can't even pretend that all of the testing I've done is for the pursuit of science and the betterment of society. I'm not good at fooling people. I take a glance at the rearview mirror. Her smile looks somewhat self-depreciating. Do you know why I can continue doing my job? Because I realize that that's just how life works, and I've got to do what I need to do. We're not gods. We're not rulers. We can't save everyone. We can't just change the world. But still. Oh, really? So, you believe you can be a god, huh? That's an amusing level of delusion for someone who's your age. I drop Mashida and Hiro off at M Tower Station. Then I drive on through the night, heading towards Kujou Mansion. As I arrive at the mansion, the phone rings. I can't even relax. Who's calling this late at night? Hello? It's Kinakawa. Sorry for calling so late. What's wrong? I can't stop thinking about Mr. Kokodi's case. Are you alright? I survived at least. But Kakada's dead. Huh? The karate man? Yeah, I failed again. I share the night's events with Michio. I realize that I shouldn't talk about it with a student even though she is trying to help me. However, my mouth starts going before I can think about it, and it'd be more trouble to stop talking once I've started. Maybe I'm just too exhausted to care. Ah, I see. I get why you're blaming yourself, but it's not your fault. It's the Departed's. We need to put a stop to the Departed quickly. We'll help you figure out who it is. Why? Why are you still helping me even after everything terrible you've gone through? Is it really just curiosity? At first, yeah, but now I'm doing this because I don't want you to die. You saved our lives and you understand our curse. That made both of us so happy because we didn't think we'd ever have the guts to tell anyone about it again. Michio. Remember this, Mr. Yashiki. You're not just a teacher to both Hime and I. You're our precious teacher. Me? Their precious teacher? I've never expected anyone to call me that when I'd been told I'd have to fill in as a temporary teacher. I should feel some kind of pride over it, but it triggered a memory of something Mashida told me. What you should do is start looking at everyone around you as a potential suspect. Are you listening, Mr. Yashiki? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was spacing out a little. Guess I'm just exhausted from tonight. Well, that's natural. Sorry for taking your time. Have some rest. Good night. Yeah, those two are super suspicious. Suspect everyone, huh? It's tough to do. The night goes on, yet I can't bring myself to go to sleep. I'm afraid to close my eyes. No, afraid to even turn off the lights. My eyes flit over the window displaying the moonlit night outside, triggering a memory from earlier tonight. The Departed was roaming about with their new body. I recall what they said, and now I'm convinced that you're my real husband. All these incidents must be some sort of test to see if I'm worthy of being their husband. And it seems like those tests have ended tonight. The Departed has acknowledged me as their real husband. The ending that the Departed desires. I feel like that day is fast approaching when I'll be asked to exchange vows at the school grounds, all lit in red. Chapter 5, Mr. Kokodi. End. On to Chapter 6. The following day at Kujou Mansion. Hello? Aita Nakamatsu here. Oh, hi. Thanks for your help last night. What do you want? Actually, Miss Yasuoka called me this morning to tell me something. The Departed's figure is getting darker and darker each day. You should back away from this now. Oh. Coming from a spiritualist like Yasuoka, those words would carry some serious weight. No wonder he's scared. Aita's information has really been a great help, but with all the people we've lost on the case, there's just no way I can try and talk him into risking his life to help me out. I got it. You were a great help. Thanks for all the work you did for me. Oh, I'll get back to teaching you how to work a computer once this case is all done. We'll start with internet use. That'll be something nice for you to look forward to, Yashiki. Yeah, thanks. This is fine. Chapter 6, The Departed's Wrath.
死人のたたり
I'll leave the mansion and head to Konoehara Academy. I have to report last night's events to Mr. Konoe. I enter the special building and walk towards the infirmary. As usual, there's nobody inside. I better go to the faculty room. Mr. Konoe is waiting for me. Since afternoon classes are still in session, the faculty room looks emptier than usual. Mr. Konoe, who's sitting in the back of the room, notices my arrival. Ah, you're here, Yashiki. His voice sounds weak, and for some reason his complexion doesn't look so good. Are you all right? I assume you are inquiring about my physical condition. No, I am not well. I've been feeling lethargic and sluggish all morning. Perhaps it's the ravages of stress taking a toll on my body. But that's enough about me. I heard you received a notice yesterday. How'd the investigation go? I give him a detailed report about Mr. Kokuri's case from beginning to end. The sour expression on his face as he listens to me recounting the events of last night tells me all I need to know. Goodness gracious. First Izumi, then Hirakoshi, now Kakuta. 3 students have gone missing under my watch. And yet again you failed to protect the targeted student. Apologize, yeah. Why are you apologizing to me? The students and their parents are the ones you should be apologizing to. Mr. Konoe, you can fire me if you like, but how would you stop the departed then? Mr. Konoe falls silent at my words. You're right. No matter how many valid complaints I have, it doesn't change the fact that you are the only hope I have of rectifying this situation. I let out an overly exaggerated sigh. I understand the situation he's in. Plus, what else can I do other than threaten him to stop bothering me? However, one more victim and you'll be dismissed. Sakamoto has backed me into a corner. She's suspicious of you, especially in regards to Doryu and Kitagawa. But she's misunderstanding the situation. Your last chance, understood? Yeah. Good. That's all from me then. Don't let me down, Yashiki. I leave the faculty room, feeling Mr. Konoe still staring daggers into my back. Honestly, I couldn't care less if Mr. Konoe and Sakamoto suspect me. But if I get kicked off campus, I won't be able to investigate. And I know I'm the only one who can pursue the departed and bring this to an end. I can't afford to make any more mistakes. A chime sounds over the speakers. Looks like class is over already. What do I do now? I really want to start doing some investigating, but I have no idea where to start. The departed, who is still hiding at Konoehara Academy, is playing their cards well. There don't seem to be any clues left. If I had to pick one spot that still has some ties to them, the clock tower seems like the prime spot. During summer vacation, Doryu and Michiho saw the female doll in the red dress there. At that moment, their bodies were afflicted with a curse. If the departed was the one who caused it, then that tower is probably connected with them. There might be something in there. But Doryu can't find the key. Should I go visit her? Dorio is standing near the window when I enter the student council room. She notices my presence right away and turns to me. Oh, so you're here today. I heard about Kakata from Michio. Yeah, it was really unfortunate. Say, Dorio, is the key to the clock tower still missing? Yes, I've been looking for it everywhere. I see. Just like that, the thin thread that might lead me to some answers has been severed. About that clock tower. One time the clock tower doll I saw made the school newspaper. I was skimming through the school's old newspapers this morning, hoping to get information about the departed, and then I found an article about a female doll. Mr. Konoe told me the school's historical records were lost due to war damage, but for it to have been buried in the school newspaper archives. Aren't you squeamish when it comes to horror stories and the likes? What made you do that? Oh, I just wanted to be of some help. Well, thank you for your help. No problem. I'm glad to be able to hear that from you. Can you tell me the details of that rumor? Yes. There was a rumor going around Konoehara Academy. "60 years ago, the first headmaster built the clock tower to commemorate the school's 10th anniversary. A stylish stone clock tower that stood tall in the remote countryside of Konoehara. Many students were wondering what the inside of the tower was like. Overcome with curiosity, some eventually snuck into the tower. What they saw inside the tower was the first headmaster's collection. There were a lot of antique things, but the item that caught the attention of the most people was a doll wearing a red wedding dress that lay on a stone altar. Rumors of the doll spread in no time because everyone was interested in its origin. However, the first headmaster had already passed away by that time, so he was unable to answer those burning questions. With nobody to tell the truth, wild speculation regarding the doll ran unchecked. The first headmaster, who had always been fond of antique goods, had bought that doll from a European family. It's a cursed doll that was modeled after young girls who became sacrifices. The first headmaster had a craftsman make the doll to enshrine the deities of Konoehara. It's a doll made to calm the soul of a student who lost their fiancé and committed suicide. No definitive answer was ever found because there wasn't anyone around who knew the truth. In the end, everyone forgot about the doll in the clock tower once the war broke out. And that was the rumor featured in the school's newspaper. It's truly an interesting story, but the rumor has so many variations regarding the origin of the doll. Which one is the truth, if any? Right, let me confirm one thing. Are there any rumors about the doll moving? No, none at all. No, okay. There are people who have seen the female doll, but not when she's moving. Guess I'm the only one who's witnessed it. I've got to go soon. Thanks, Dorio. I hope that information could help you in some way. I have to head out as well. The teachers told us not to stay at school. I say goodbye to Dorio and leave the student council room. Rumors about the female doll have been added. The rumors of the clock tower involve a doll in a red wedding dress that is placed on an altar inside. However, no one knows its origins. It's the same doll that shows up everywhere I go. I need to find out if the doll and the departed are related, in addition to a way to enter the clock tower itself. Let's go to the library. When I step into the library, I find a girl whose appearance clashes with the place. Sup? Kakata didn't come to school today. You know anything about it? Sorry, no idea. There's no way I can tell Matahashi about Kakata's death. What are you doing here? I'm just chilling here. I've got no place to go. Not after I learned how terrifying that corridor was. Then you should just go home. Didn't the teachers tell you not to hang out here after class? Who knows? Maybe something weird will happen to you again. Stop acting like a teacher. Don't freak me out like that. I was about to go home anyway. My body just feels really heavy somehow today. Are you going to stay until night again? If you do, be careful. I have a bad feeling. I say goodbye to Matahashi and leave the library. I guess I should check the faculty. And where else is there? That's the only place I haven't been. When I enter the faculty room for a second time, I see Sakamoto inside. Still plaguing our school, are you, Mr. Yashiki? I asked Mr. Konoe to do away with you, though. Oh, don't worry, he heard you. He told me that I'd be dismissed if I make another mistake. That Konoe is far too lenient. If an incident occurs, it'll be too late. We need to deal with this problem quickly. My problem? Are you referring to the Doryu and Kinakawa thing? Good to know you understand it yourself. I don't know what kind of nonsense you've concocted in that skull of yours, but I assure you, there's nothing going on. I have no intention of doing anything untoward with any students. And yet, an incident can still occur even without a teacher having any such intentions. Just like in Mr. Hirose's. Hirose, the art teacher Sakamoto told me about when I was investigating Slipmouth Kashima. Both Kashima and Manabe had a crush on him, which spiraled into tragic consequences. Excuse me. I've warned Doryu and Kunakawa not to get close to you, but seeing them defend you so fervently, the situation is getting dangerous. That's what my intuition as a woman is telling me. Let me repeat it again. This is all just a big misunderstanding on your part. I've warned you, Mr. Yashiki. If you'll excuse me then. Ouch! Sakamoto grimaces, pressing her fingers to her temple. Hey, you alright? Leave me be. I've been having terrible headaches since this morning. This is all your fault. You're... Mumbling invectives at me, Sakamoto hurriedly stumbles out of the faculty room. Jeez. A big sigh escapes my lips. There's nothing I can do about it. I have to investigate the departed. And sometimes the only way I can make progress is by getting the students' cooperation. I shouldn't refrain from asking them. School will be closing shortly. All students, please promptly vacate the school grounds for today. It's finally time for students to leave the school. I head back to the infirmary and try to come up with some kind of strategy for tonight. Welcome back, Mr. Yashiki. What are you doing here, Abe? School ended a while ago. You better go home now. Goodness, that is too much. I'm not asking for grand gesticulations of friendship, but it wouldn't hurt you to be a tad bit kinder, you know. After all, I've come all this way here to provide you with information regarding the departed. Come again? With the lack of a notice and no new pertinent information, I'm pretty desperate. Let's give him a listen for now. I'm listening. Tell me more. Before we get to the meat of my report, there's something I'd like to tell you. This will be my final act of assistance. I shall cease pursuing the departed after this. Oh, really? What's with the sudden decision? I saw something with my left eye. I witnessed my own tragic end, assaulted by a terrifying demon with numerous legs. By demon with numerous legs, I'm assuming he must be referring to some kind of bug. If you want to deride me for my cowardice, feel free to do so. But I won't die if I abandon my pursuit now. My master has also warned me to do so. I'm not going to laugh at you. You made a wise decision. However, it seems like you have not been afforded the same option. You cannot run from the departed any longer. Oh, hold on a minute. So, this is my parting gift to you, as you take another step closer to death. The Departed, a name we've learned through the notices. However, that sinister name has existed since long before we first heard of it. 100 years ago, before Konoehara Academy was even founded, a dark incident occurred on these lands. It was a small village called M-Town near Konoehara. At some point, residents of M-Town succumbed to an unknown disease one by one. In the end, the village was destroyed and the incident was forgotten. But one of the residents said this before they died. This is the Departed's wrath. This is the most valuable information I've ever found. That's some interesting information. Where'd you learn it? From the former headmaster. He liked to study the school's history during his spare time. When the first notice arrived, I went to him and asked if he knew something. So, he told you about the Departed's wrath? Yes, it sounded like a mere ghost story to him more than anything. He was a realist. He didn't believe in the Departed. If I remember correctly, the headmaster died of a heart attack, didn't he? Yes, if he were still alive, he might have learned more valuable information from him. Right after the Departed's notice first arrived, the only person who knew about their past died. Another convenient coincidence. Well, I should be going home soon. To tell you the truth, I've been feeling under the weather. Perhaps I'm possessed. Now that I think about it, I've heard similar complaints from a lot of people here today. It could just be an outbreak of some disease, but the events of last night suddenly crossed my mind. What if the Departed's transformation now gives them the power to not only affect the school, but the humans as well? Or am I overthinking things? Mr. Yashiki, the gruesome death I saw in my left eye also applies to you. What awaits you is an inevitable catastrophe. I hate to see the great spirit doctor lose his life this way. After despondently speaking those words, Abe leaves the room. I guess I'll take that as a sign that he's really worried about me. The sun sets and darkness falls on Konoehara Academy. How many times have I greeted the night here? Why is my phone ringing now? Hello? Ah, it's me, Michio Kinakawa. Thank goodness you're still at the school. What's wrong? Just want to ask if you made any progress with your investigation. I'm curious. I'm in front of the school now. Mind coming out? I don't mind, but we could just talk over the phone. Oh, jeez. It's fine, isn't it? I'll be waiting then. Sakamoto just gave me that warning today. Oh well, I have no choice since I made a promise. Should I head to the main gate now? The lights in the hallway are glowing red. Given the lack of commotion right now, I'm guessing nobody's noticed yet. Oh well, it's pretty hard to miss, so someone's going to notice it sooner or later. Michio's waiting in front of the main gate. The moment she sees me, she rushes over like a puppy. Good evening, Mr. Yashiki. You look tired today, too. Not surprised, though. How are you feeling? Same old, same old. A bit tired since I haven't been getting a lot of sleep lately. Never mind that. How's your investigation going? Did you learn any new facts? Not a lot, but I tell her about the story of the Departed's wrath that I heard from Abe. Wrath of the Departed? That sounds like something from a fantasy novel. Did the previous headmaster tell you anything? Nope. I wasn't particularly close to him. I'm student council vice president, but I usually just have Hime deal with the teachers. Okay. There's something that's caught my attention. I remember M-Town coming up in one of the cases somehow. Now that she mentioned it, that name does sound somewhat familiar. In which case did the name M-Town show up? Oh, Slitmouth Kashima. I recall what happened when we were investigating Slitmouth Kashima. Yeah, I feel like I saw that name during Slitmouth Kashima's investigation. Where did I see the name of M-Town? We got school newspaper, graduation, bus route map. I try to remember what was written on the bus route map I saw. Bingo. One of the bus stops I saw at that time was M-Town Shop. I immediately let Michiho know about it. Oh, you're right. You sure have a good memory. If the owner is a descendant of an M-Town resident, they might have some documents from the past. I'll try going to the M-Town Shop. Sure, let's go there together. Wait a minute. You're coming with me? Of course I am. But don't you have a curfew? No need to worry. Hime can handle it. The door manager trusts her, you know. That's not the issue, though. I don't want to leave you alone. Carrying these burdens all by yourself just seems really tough. Tough, huh? I guess it is. Mr. Konoe's ultimatum, Sakamoto's hostility, Abe's prediction of death, the department constantly targeting me, the students I couldn't protect, Diamond unconscious in a hospital bed. My heart is screaming from all the weight it's bearing, but I've chosen to close my ears and ignore it. I know I can't help carry all that heavy baggage, but I can at least help you relax a bit. I'm begging you, I'm not asking for too much. Michiho Kunikawa has joined the investigation. She's definitely related to the departed. Her kindness tastes as sweet as honey to my exhausted mind. Except, there's a chance she might be the departed, yeah. Michiho and I climb into the car I parked near the school. M-Town Shop isn't too far from here. I park my car nearby and I walk towards the bus stop in front of M-Town Shop. Yuck, this shop is so creepy. The building is run down and there's no sign of life inside. Doesn't look like anyone actually lives here. We'll find out for sure once we check it out. A crooked guardrail and a slanted pole. Looking at the brake marks on the road, it seems like there was a car accident here. Safe driving is important. You should take that to heart, Mr. Yashiki. There's an old mailbox hanging on the wooden wall. And I peer inside to find a postcard. I wonder what it's a postcard of. Let's check it out. It's for our investigation. Why are you being so casual about everything? Without responding, before I can tell her to stop, Michiho has already got her hand on the mailbox lid. Huh? It's not opening. Is it locked? I don't see a keyhole, though. However, the lid seems to be locked and we can't take out the postcard inside. There's a faded paper with the word "morning" on it, pasted on the glass door. Isn't this a morning notice? I think they hang it on the house and they're supposed to remove it after 49 days. You sure know a lot about strange things, huh? When my grandma died, one of my relatives told me about it. But does that mean someone here passed away sometime in the past 7 weeks? I suppose it would imply that.
Yosh.
The other side of this dusty glass door is pitch black, preventing us from seeing inside of the store from this vantage point. What's going on here? I hear an eerie male voice coming from inside the shop. The other side of this dusty glass door. I can't stop thinking about the voice I heard just now. I wonder who's inside. Inspect. There's no bell anywhere around the store. We'll just have to knock on the door to see if someone's inside. There's no response. Maybe they're asleep. Let's try it again. Still no response. Let's give it one last try. Third time's a charm, right? My head. My head. A scene suddenly flashes before my eyes. And that scene is... Again, it's the bugs. Just like Michiho likes. Of an elderly man lying on the ground of an old store. His head is deformed and swelling to the point of becoming gelatinous. Swarms of centipedes continue to issue forth from his eyes. Bugs. 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 This is the departed's wrath. The moment he stops speaking, his body also stops twitching. All that moves in the dark now are the bugs. I wonder what caused this to happen. I can no longer hear any response coming from his gaping mouth. There is one thing that I'm dead certain about. He said this was the departed's wrath. What's wrong? I saw what happened. The owner of the shop. He was probably killed by the departed's wrath. I described the vision I saw to Michio. So, the person that was being mourned was that old man you saw then. I guess so, yeah. But they had the mourning notice up. Which means they had a funeral, and that means his corpse must have been found. That's odd, because the other victims' corpses disappeared. How could that be? Didn't Kakura's corpse remain too, though? Maybe there are times when they don't need to get rid of the corpse or something. I don't understand. This is just a guess, but the departed wants to continue this whole little notice game. If there's actually a dead body found at the school, the police will come. There's a chance that the school will be closed and then there won't be any students. So maybe they only discard the corpses at school. But Manabe's body also disappeared and she didn't die at the school. That one was probably because of you. That one was probably because of you, though. With that corpse in the hospital, the cops probably would have arrested you. That's also not something the departed wants. That actually makes sense, since I'm supposed to be their husband. And this ends my sloppy deduction. Thank you for listening. Although she doesn't think too highly of her reasoning, I have to admit that it does make sense. This corpse was found outside the school and had no ties to me, therefore it remained. Why was he cursed, though? I'm not sure, but maybe it's because he was a descendant of an M-Town resident. M-Town was destroyed by the departed's wrath. While we don't know what exactly happened there, the wrath still remains and it killed the old man. What was that sound? It came from the mailbox. There's an old mailbox hanging on the wooden wall. When I peer inside, I find a postcard. Doesn't look any different. Maybe I was just hearing things. Just to be sure, I try to open the lid one more time. Unlike last time, it opens easily. How is this possible? Did something just happen to get caught? So the mailbox refused to open? Or was there a trigger or something? Oh well, it's not like I'm going to get an answer. Time to see what was locked away. I collect the postcard. It's addressed to M-Town Shop, though I have no idea who the sender is. Oh, the sender is the previous headmaster. I flip the card over and find some words of gratitude written on it. This is obviously some kind of thank you letter from the previous headmaster. Reading the letter more thoroughly, the shop owner apparently donated an old book about M-Town's ritual to the school. An old book about M-Town, huh? Interesting. It should be in Konoehara Academy now. Probably in the library. Although if they consider it to be a valuable item, they might have put it away somewhere else for safekeeping. We came this far, and that's where the trail leads, so why don't we try looking for it? Let's go back to Konoehara Academy. Really? There's nothing else here? Oh, what's this? A vending machine with bottled water inside. A rare sight these days. Judging by the lack of any light and the fact that it's not making any sort of mechanical sounds, seems like it's no longer in use. Hey, this vending machine's kind of rare, isn't it? It's got bottles of water. Is it out of order? Jeez, what a shame. I wanted to buy one for nostalgia. Vending machine with bottled water inside appears disused. It would be counterproductive to take the bus since I came here by car. I leave M-Town shop and get into the car I parked nearby. The trip back to Konoehara Academy should only take about 5 minutes if we don't get caught in traffic. Throughout the ride, Michio only stares blankly at the scenery outside. She was in such high spirits earlier. I wonder what's wrong. Say, Mr. Yashiki, do you have a moment? Michio calls me out in a low, subdued voice, as if she were waiting for the right moment to spring something on me. I need your opinion on something. It's related to The Departed. Mind if I talk about it? Sure, go ahead. It's about The Departed's notices. Do you remember how many notices we've gotten? Including the one that arrived before I came to the school. Well, there's 5 chapters, so there's 6 notices. Correct. Way to go. I try to recall the 6 notices. The first was targeting Ribbon, aka Kyoko Takai. The second one was targeting pianist, Toshihiko Izumi. The third notice was for Naomi Hirakoshi, the model, and the fourth was for Megami Manabe, gold prize. The fifth was for Dorio and Michio, student council, and finally, the hooligan, Shinichi Kakuta. What about the notices? I want to know what the purpose was for issuing those notices. The Departed isn't a spirit who goes around committing horrible acts for fun. They issued those notices with a goal in mind. Ever since the model notice, they've been releasing those notices to test you, their husband. But what about the first 2? Well, now you got me all curious about it too. Do you have any ideas? Well, yeah, sort of. If they issued the latter notices as a trial for their husband, I'm guessing that also applied to the first 2. So are you saying there was already a marriage candidate even before I arrived at the school? Yep. If I'm right, who do you think it was? The potential husband before me was... it wouldn't have been Abe. I don't think it's Konoe, so that leaves Izumi. I think so too. Izumi was different from the other victims. Before he was murdered, he said, "The Departed is calling me." Asha heard his last words. Seems like he knew the Departed's true identity. Seriously? Who is it? Well, he didn't actually say. But if he really did learn the Departed's true identity, he probably was being put on trial. So the first notice really was issued to test Izumi, huh? I guess he was deemed unfit since he abandoned Takai and ran away. Maybe that's why he became the second target. I showed up at Konoehara Academy at that time. I don't know what they saw in me, but they chose me as their next potential husband. And you didn't run away and actually accepted the challenge. You tried to save those spirit's souls. That cool side of yours must have fit in with their image of an ideal husband. And that concludes Michiho Kunakawa's deduction. Man, I sure have a good imagination, right? Yeah, I can be a novelist or something. To be honest, I'm blown away by the story that Michiho concocted for me. It's as if the departed themselves is telling me their plans. I would never have thought that you could piece together their train of thought so well. I'm surprised. Michiho smiles, her fingers playing with her white hair. I suppose it's because that doll was cursed by the departed. Previously, she said she thought the departed was that female doll. I guess she still stands by that opinion. Somehow I can understand how they feel, like when I was possessed by Kashima. The departed had been longing for an ideal husband for who knows how long. And then they found you. Michiho? I love you. I want to vow to live happily ever after with you. Then I want to eat you up. Uh-oh, being possessed. Just kidding. Come on now. Oh, don't be mad, please. I end up getting carried away when I start acting like the departed. How was it? Did I freak you out? Yeah, don't tease your teacher. Sorry. When I saw that gloomy face of yours, I just had an urge to tease you. We should be arriving at Konoehara Academy soon. I opened the window and let the cold night air in. I don't think I can bear this indescribable atmosphere. Whoa, why are the lights red? Oh, right. I didn't tell you about this. They've been like this since last night. I think the departed did this, but I could be wrong. I see. Is this their way of trying to charm you? In what way exactly? Let's see. The departed thinks you're their ideal husband, right? They do, yeah. This is something I've seen on TV. In Shinto weddings, bonfires and paper lanterns are usually lit at night to illuminate the path of the newlyweds. I figure these lights are their version of that. They're really going all out to perfect every detail of their wedding, then. I mean, everything they do is pretty detailed. They issue fancy notices, and they even blend themselves in with the people in the school. Bet they're having so much fun. I don't doubt that. Among spirits, there are some who feel their greatest pleasure when they're inflicting fear on humans. Supposedly an exquisite pleasure that humans cannot comprehend. The departed might be one of those spirits. It doesn't seem to be causing any harm, so we probably shouldn't pay much attention to it. Let's just ignore it for now. You're a strong one, aren't you? Shall we go to the library then? Why don't you go back to the dorms? It's getting late. Ooh, don't wanna. Let me tag along until the end. I'm curious to know where this leads. But how about I promise I'll go home once we find the old book? Just let me stay until then. What if I don't want to? Then I'll still tag along. Sheesh. I better find that old book as soon as possible so this curfew-breaking student will head home. The best place to find a book should be the library. Oh, whoops. Lazy finger. There's no one in the faculty room. You're a teacher, but I barely see you in the faculty room. Now that you mention it. Do you feel uncomfortable there? Miss Sakamoto seems to really hate you. That's not the reason. Don't you think she's awful? You've been working so hard for the sake of the school. Should I throw lots of mole crickets into the faculty room to get revenge for you? Please don't do that. I'm begging you. There's no need to stay here any longer. Let's go inspect somewhere else. There's a wooden book storage cabinet with a glass door. It seems to store special books that aren't allowed to leave the school premises. Since the old book would be considered valuable items, it should be somewhere around here. I know, I remember that shelf. Micho and I split up to check each book in the storage section. Each city's local documents and old maps are stored together in the school newspaper folder. I skimmed the documents hoping to find anything related to the departed to no avail. I can't seem to find anything that looks like an old book either. Hey, Mr. Yashiki, this book has some information about M-Town. Michiho shows me a book titled H City's Local History, which was self-published by the previous headmaster. Issued a year ago, this book apparently was only given to family and close friends. Thinking it might be connected to the case, I write down the bits about M-Town in my notes. Konoehara and M-Town. Konoehara used to be a small town named M. The area where Konoehara Academy currently sits was once M-Town's downtown. M-Town had its own beliefs and customs, though they gradually disappeared following the westernization that occurred during the Meiji period. Furthermore, the plague that occurred at the end of the Meiji era caused a sharp decrease in its population. The survivors called it the Departed's Wrath, but autopsies determined it to actually be cholera. It's still unknown what the Departed refers to, though some speculate it may be tied to their local folklore. M-Town's religion. 2 earthly deities were enshrined in M-Town. One of them was Mushigami. Details regarding the deity are hazy, as there are not many traces of M-Town's customs, though it does beg the question, did these people really make an insect their god? Mushigami Shrine was said to be located in the vicinity of Konoehara Academy's old building. Because the shrine was already half ruined when the school was founded, they demolished it to build the old building. When the first headmaster, Genzo Konoe, had the shrine demolished, he tried to placate Mushigami and the souls of those who died of the plague. This is how the shrine in the connecting corridor came to be. Both teachers and students might have called it Kokori Shrine, but that's actually incorrect. It was simply named after the guardian fox of the Mushigami Shrine, which is now standing in the courtyard. H City's history. Lord Mushigami, huh? What a beautiful name. I want to know their connection to the departed. How should I put this? There are many scary stories where gods punish humans for destroying their shrines. The departed's wrath began before the shrine was destroyed, though. True, but I don't think that those things are completely unrelated. Because those who knew about the wrath died one after the other. Well, they also got old. I mean, people die when they get old. You see the picture of the talisman over there? I think they had a good taste for choosing centipedes. Don't you think so too? It's a theme. Is the theme Scolopendra subspinipes? Michiho points out a photo on the edge of a page about the local history. It's an old talisman with a centipede drawn on it. Looking at the details, the talisman was made at Mushigami Shrine. Apparently, the previous headmaster got his hands on it. In M-Town, people believed they could escape danger by putting this talisman on the front of their houses. Why do I feel like I've seen this talisman somewhere before? Now, where was it? I was about to say, yeah, it's on the shrine. That's right, the shrine on the second floor. There are talismans hanging there. And all we found inside the shrine was a petri dish. There wasn't any information related to M-Town. According to the book, that shrine was built to replace M-Town's Mushigami Shrine. So what are the disaster prevention talismans doing hanging in a shrine that's been around for so long? Were they afraid of the Mr. Kokori rumors or something? I just remembered. I saw that talisman before. Michiho, who is peering at the book beside me, speaks up. The shrine in the connecting corridor, right? To my surprise, she shook her head in disagreement. Where'd you see it then? Over there. I was completely confused at the time, but I saw that talisman with my own eyes. place where she was completely confused? Don't tell me she saw that talisman at the clock tower. I guess that would be... I guess that would make sense. Exactly. When both Hime and I were on the ground, I saw that talisman. Why don't we go inspect the clock tower? It's locked, though. It was open that time, no? I mean, it's already nighttime, so who knows? Maybe it's open again. It might be indeed. It doesn't make any logical sense, but I'm still willing to believe in that slim chance. Let's go to the clock tower. I should dump her off, though. Oh, let's save real fast. Actually, oh, we've been playing for almost an hour. Boy, the time goes by fast. This is like the most interesting part of the story so far. Alright, why don't we stop it there? This is meowmurai. You've been watching Spirit Hunter Death Mark 2 running on PlayStation 5. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you with the next stream.